This episode of The Patch is brought to you by the biggest real-time strategy game on a fully persistent MMO galaxy, Nova Saturno. Play against thousands of other players in an endless universe of galaxies where your strategic decisions have real consequences. Coming this spring, you can help back Nova Saturno on Kickstarter or learn more at novasaturno.com. Stop schlepping to the drugstore and paying $20 for shave tech you don't need. For a couple bucks a month, DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing quality razors right to your door. Shave time, shave money with Dollar Shave Club. Go to DollarShaveClub.com/rooster. That's DollarShaveClub.com/rooster. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to The Patch.
Start.
You're really good about that.
He is. You know, I like sand.
He even shakes it to make sure that it's really working.
It's a visual thing.
It got a little stuck at the end of the show last week. And,
Ancient technology failed us.
Yeah. So here we are at The Patch. We got Gus, Adam, Ryan, and Gus.
Most of him, anyway.
Most of me. Half of it.
To be explained later.
We'll get to that in a bit. So first and foremost, I want to say you were right, Ryan, about the VGX. I was like, they're retooling.
My completely uninformed opinion was completely spot on.
Well, I was like, they're retooling it. They're going to stream it. It seems like they're going to focus it down. No,
look,
it was rough, man. I only watched the first half. I couldn't make it more than halfway through it.
I've only seen the cringe recut someone did where they just cut together all the horrible stuff that happened on it. I mean, again, this is what the internet's known for. I'm going to make again an uninformed opinion, but it seems to me like they really don't understand their audience or what an awards show is for.
Freddie W. had an interesting tweet about the VGX after the fact. He said, people don't watch the Oscars expecting to see a trailer for the next Iron Man movie or the next Avengers movie.
Yeah. It's I mean, you're combining, so it's an award that no one is really sure who, some of it's fan-based and some of it is like somebody is picking who wins it. So you don't have the developers aren't there to accept this prestigious award. I mean, it's got the gravitas of an internet poll is what they're handing out. And then,
and also they're blending what is essentially paid commercial content with video game trailers in with their content,
just
their award show. It's like, just sell fucking commercial time.
Yeah, just say, hey, we're going to have a big video game announcement show, and then people will show up.
Because that's all anyone cares about anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was 3 hours long, and on the internet with no commercial breaks.
I wonder how much higher their viewership would have been had they just done the stuff that people cared about and just given up the pretense that it was some kind of attractive award show.
Yeah.
Also, maybe someone should have given Joel McHale a little bit of something beforehand to pep him up.
I can't believe how uninformed and disinterested he was. It's like, why would you have someone on an award show like that who doesn't give a fuck about it? And then I saw some people online who were like, oh, I love Joel McHale. He doesn't care at all. Like, really? You love that? You love having someone on screen not only be ignorant about the subject at hand, but like talk down to and berate the people who are up there?
So I'm in this is where I might have messed up. I've heard of this award show, but outside of like that, what was it? It was like, I mean, it's not like E3.
No,
because, I mean, you know about E3. That is a major thing every year. It's not even like Gamescom or some of the other, big things where people are talking about. So you're taking, it's an award show in where they announce games.
It was formerly the VGA.
How are you getting awards
Spike,
for
right?
things that aren't?
No, they don't give awards to the people.
Yeah. Oh, so it's like an award
It's
show.
like, imagine the Oscars, only no one famous or interesting showed up. It's just two guys in an empty soundstage talking shit about the things they're giving awards to.
And they're showing movie trailers for movies that are coming out next year.
Right. Imagine that. Would anyone watch that?
That sounds retarded.
Also, the two guys in the studio, one of them has no idea about movies.
Yeah.
Oh.
He may never have watched one in his life. That is about the parity between the VGX and other award shows.
Yeah, it was really.
They didn't
really
celebrate
awful.
the developers. I mean, that's what what an award show is for, right? You celebrate. It's people getting together and celebrating each other's work.
Yeah.
And this is as far from that as
it
you
was
could have
condescending.
achieved. Yeah.
And
so.
Yeah, it was.
That sounds great.
They have learned nothing.
Really
and there were tons of offensive juvenile jokes. Which, don't get me wrong, I love offensive juvenile jokes, but at an award show, it's supposed to be, like you said, it's supposed to be a celebration of all this hard work. Not
so much.
Not impressed.
Nope. So, well, Thanks,
I saw
VGX.
a bunch of cool stuff come out of it. I saw a bunch of trailers for a couple new games that are, I guess, coming up that I had previously not seen. Where they were, new games.
Like No Man's Land,
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Sorry,
That's the one that where in the trailer the guy like jumped in the ship or something like that.
Yeah,
that looks crazy.
flew out of the
Everything's
atmosphere.
Everything's procedurally
Yeah.
generated.
That looks really neat.
So I was a little disconcerted by the No Man's Sky trailer because the logo they show at the end reminds me of the Destiny logo. Like it's got like the horizon of the planet and then like that mysterious logo.
Well, it's that every space game has this logo slightly retooled. I mean, Starbound is the same. It's like it's the planet or something eclipsing something else. It's the universal symbol for space stuff.
Space.
Yeah, No Man's Sky definitely made me think of like Destiny meets like Minecraft.
Yeah, kind of.
So, and the trailer didn't really show off anything outside of just like
Walking
flying around. So we don't know
there's that
anything.
cool thing where he shot the hole in the asteroid and like flew through the hole.
Yeah.
And there's the giant snake thing.
Is it okay?
I don't know.
In-depth analysis.
I get that you're flying ships and land on Dune. That's as much as I
and
can
you can
tell.
run around. It looked neat. I
looked
wanted
really
to
cool.
like, what do you do? You just
don't know.
I guess the nature of a procedurally generated game, there is that mystery in that you can go anywhere and it will create that area for you, and you get to experience something that should be systematically different.
Yeah.
So I guess there's that excitement there. But like at least in Minecraft, it's like, you go and you gather materials and you can like build stuff and you can change the world. And that's one of the things that I've really, loved about a lot of the procedurally generated games is the fact that when you get into them, you can start changing them and affecting them and creating your house or creating traps for enemies and stuff like that. And I mean, and it's just a trailer, so I can't see any of that.
Yeah.
But it seemed like it was just here's space.
It's
They're
also
ways
an
out.
announcement trailer.
Yeah.
So,
right.
I mean,
So
it's like
it's nothing. It's not even like a gameplay trailer or anything like that.
It's like a Kickstarter trailer.
It's like that. Hey, this is a cool idea.
yeah.
Here's some space.
We're
stuff,
going to be working on
and
this.
here's
You'll
some
see it
planet
eventually.
Stuff. Yeah, right.
2015 can't come soon enough. I'm sure they don't even have a date. But that makes me think.
That stuff drives me crazy. The 2-3 years ahead of time hype
Yeah.
generators that you start watching and you're like, well, great. I'll see this when I'm 30.
No, they'll release it in beta, and then you can play it forever.
I don't want
It's
to.
just like Starbound.
Do not want to start with it.
Starbound.
Starbound's beta is another conversation.
It made
we'll
me
get
think.
to that.
We're
We'll get to that.
talking about
Yeah,
that. We're fucking
it's
talking
happening.
about it.
Yes, we are.
We got.
Dude.
So I got it. So
So did I. So did I.
With almost no information,
Yep.
no hype, whatever. I bought it and I just started playing it. There definitely needs to be a better tutorial system because I guess you haven't played it yet.
No, I have not. So fill
So
me in.
Have you played Terraria?
I have played a little bit of Terraria.
Okay, you kind of played the
You
I
start,
get the idea.
You start on a ship and then you go down to the planet and you're given like what's it called, a matter something,
I don't know.
a matter
Space beam.
something
Laser
ray?
gun.
Space
laser gun.
beam. Yeah.
And I encountered a few enemies. So I'm trying to shoot them with the gun. It doesn't kill them. Like, fuck. So I probably spent like 10 lives. Like, I died 10 times trying to kill these guys.
Oh man,
With
so
the gun.
So you tried to use the matter emitter thing for killing it. Yeah. See, that's
Because I landed right next to an
Yep.
enemy, so I thought I had to fight him. Nope. It's actually to destroy your surroundings and break them down into base components. So it's like, I accidentally shot a tree, and then the tree started shaking. I was like, oh, maybe I can do something to the tree. A minute later, the
I was
tree
gonna say,
fell
no, hang on.
over.
So you didn't just like accidentally shoot the tree and it shook. Because in that, at least in the beginning, you have to like click and hold and like wait 30 seconds before the tree starts shaking, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm doing something. Let me wait another minute."
Me and this tree
before
are having a
something-
moment.
before something else happened. Like the beginning of that game is excruciatingly
I think
slow.
You are correct. I think I accidentally shot the ground first, and after 10 seconds, some earth popped up. And I was
Yep.
like, oh, look, that's what this gun does.
I have collected Earth.
Then I went and I shot a tree for like a minute, and then it fell over, and I was able to collect wood.
Yeah, so I started playing that game, and another one of the guys here, also named Adam, got me hooked on it, and he so about 15 minutes into the game, I'm following the tutorial, and he was like, okay, stop doing the tutorial because the tutorial for this point forward is terrible. What you need to do after the crafting table is just build a pickaxe and a normal axe, and then continue playing. Don't do the tutorial stuff because it's just going to confuse you, and you're gonna waste 10 hours of gameplay doing, mundane crap no one really wants to do anyway.
I did an hour of tutorial, then I gave up, and I was like, "Fuck this!" I was like, when they get further along in this game, I'll come back to it.
Had Adam not told me that, I would probably have quit about an hour in as well, like shooting trees with lasers for a minute and a half to do anything. I'm just like, nope.
You can shoot a tree for a minute to knock it down. And then eventually you can craft a bow and arrow that takes like 7 arrows to kill an enemy.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've got this matter disintegrator or a bow and arrow to shoot these guys.
Well, so you've got a super matter ray, but you still have to build a pickaxe?
Yeah. That makes sense, right?
Okay, sure. And then you go back to your spaceship.
Your spaceship
with
also
your
doesn't have
teleporter.
any weapons that could just like blow up a mountain where you could just go down and get the ore. Nope, can't do
I'm
any of
going to
that.
fly to the next planet and fight it with rocks.
Yep.
I'm going to be a caveman on another planet.
You start off with some kind of laser gun, a sword, some basic ridiculous
I'm sure
materials.
he's trained in its use.
That, of course. and then you're just told, you need to go get a bow and arrow, something from 3,000 years
So you're
ago.
a space hobo.
No, you're a intergalactic caveman was the original title for Starbound.
Okay.
So yeah, it's obviously, I think it was released under Steam Early Access.
Yeah, so it's Steam Early Access, and that's another thing that's kind of been bugging me recently, at least on the PC gaming side of things, is I feel like we've hit this point thanks to digital delivery where all I'm playing is betas.
Yeah.
Where
that's
it's
true.
like I'm so I'm playing and some of it's the Minecraft model of like releasing a game in beta and then slowly building onto it and stuff like that. And Starbound is in that model, in that the game got released under beta, and about 2 days after I started playing it, they were like, "Oh, we really messed up. We're going to wipe the entire game, and not only wipe the game, which wipes happen. That's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to completely change the game from like it was levels 1 through 100, and now it's levels 1 through 10, and all the items work differently. And then I feel like if you're still at the point where you need to make radical, the entire game changes decisions, that's not a beta.
Yeah.
Like, beta to me is, hey, we need a bunch of people to get in there and find all the really weird bugs that are like down in the nooks and crannies that
It's almost like a stress test.
Exactly. Like because we coded the game, we do things one way. We need people who are going to play the game differently than us to go find bugs that maybe we can't find. So that's what a beta is for. Whereas, or, in the MMO model of, hey, we need to see how many people we can get on the server. Or we can, like that's to me what beta is for. If you're still at the point in your design where you're like, well, we're going to take the game and instead of 100 levels, we're going to do 10 levels. We're going to completely change how all the items work. We're going to throw out all. When you're throwing away half the game, you're probably not in beta.
This is more of an alpha.
Well, and then the second point is, you should probably not be charging for beta access. Like, I get that the whole paygate model is working because you can say things like, I want people who are going to be dedicated into the game's future, and I want to find the people who are most passionate. So what I'm going to make them do is pay for it, and then they buy the game and they get it.
The thinking that's
Do you think
that's the thinking that's been explained to me?
so?
But I don't know.
I feel I agree with you. I think people are starting to abuse this early access
I
model.
think very much so.
Do you think that we're going to reach a point here within the next year or so where consumers are going to stop paying for that early access? Are we going to get burned enough to where we're like, fuck it, I'm not going to pay for shit that's not done anymore?
Absolutely. So some of us have already reached the point, like, the crowd, at least me personally, crowdfunding blew up, got really, really big. And, it seemed a big portion of the indie gamers were doing crowdfunding and stuff like that. And at least from my point of view, we haven't had very many, like, games come out from that yet, right? There's still, and there's a bunch of them out there that are definitely doing it right, but I think there's an equal amount that are still not, that haven't been able to take that crowdfunding model and make it sustainable. I think the beta is the same idea in that we've got all these people who are getting to experience these games well before they're ready, and these game developers saying, oh, it's beta, but we're making you pay for it. We're making you, buy into all this stuff, and we're going to wipe your characters every week, and we're going to, at some point, the abuse is just going to get too much. Yeah. Like, for me, it's really frustrating. I put 60 hours into Starbound, and I know it's a beta, and I knew my character was going to get wiped. But there's still a part of me that's like, it was tons of fun. I really enjoyed it. I played it all weekend long since the beta dropped, and now I have to start over. And, that's fine the first time, but by the third time the wipe comes along, I'm not going to play the game anymore. I'm never going to see this game in a finished state. I'm almost convinced of that.
Well, and it's funny you say that. I had kind of a similar experience with Hearthstone. Like I'd been in it for a long time. Then Gilby finally got in it. And he was like, let's play a game. I was like, oh man, I'm going to destroy you. I've got some great decks that I've been building. Then I logged in. I was like, oh fuck, they wiped when they had the new round of beta people.
Yeah.
So I was like, I couldn't play him. Like, well, I could play him, but I didn't have any of my cards.
Yeah, you
so
didn't have any of your advantage from actually getting to play for the years or whatever.
I'm not going to play this game
So
for
do you
a while.
think going to this kind of model kind of takes some of the impetus to complete the game off the developers? I mean, they're already now making money before they have a released title. They used to have to get to the end, put a game out, and get money.
I think that what it's doing is it's making them push the flag further back. They're like, we could have released at this line in the sand, but since we received an injection of capital, let's push it and then make the line further in the sand and wait to make a more feature-rich product before shipping it. But just ship it.
But it's already shipped.
Just ship it.
That's the thing.
There's no such thing as shipping at this point.
Exactly. The line, the day you call yourself shipped doesn't matter anymore. Look at Path of Exile. Path of Exile, a huge, and they released, and they did get a definite surge of traffic and surge of popularity because of marketing when they officially launched. But that game, has been out for a year. People have been playing it for years, and and at least in that game didn't have a wipe. Like they when they started beta, their character, you got to keep your characters all the way through all your stuff. At least as far as I'm aware, there wasn't a wipe. I don't think I lost my characters. But that's an example of kind of what I'm talking about. Is I played Path of Exile for about 2 months back when the game wasn't officially launched, when it was a beta.
Wasn't done.
And I enjoyed the game. It was fun. It was a lot of stuff. And then when it actually officially launched, I haven't touched it. And I think that's going to continue to happen, where people beta test the games and then kind of burn themselves out or experience as much as the game as they can. And I don't think that's fair, because they're experiencing a product that the developers themselves are saying this is not complete.
Well, I mean, ultimately, that's your choice, though. I mean, they're saying this is early access. You're paying probably about the same amount of money that you play when the game comes out. So they've already made their money off of you. You got your experience. You knew it was an early experience. I mean, I'm not saying I 100% like this model, but I can see where...
I like variations on the model. Like I like what Star Citizen did, where you don't get the game necessarily, you get like this hangar add-on where you can start like getting a feel for your ship and for the universe. So it's like you're in like a tiny little locked room. You're like, the universe is just out there. And then that made
teaser rather than a gameplay experience.
You don't get that complete cohesive experience. And you're exactly right in Star Citizen, where right now the people who have funded it, they have the hangar. And I don't actually know if it's been released yet, but it's supposed to be coming out sometime very soon. The multiplayer, like, space dogfighting module, where you can actually then experience the next part of the game, which is the multiplayer portion of it. And they're doing it in phases where you get, when the things that they're testing are actually focus tests. I don't like this idea of, it's in beta, here's the entire game. We're not looking for any specific feedback on the PvP in the game or all this stuff. Here's just the game. I feel like, if you're going to beta test specific things, so that when I'm being a part of that beta test stuff, I never feel, one, that I've been given the complete game to burn myself out on years before it actually comes out, and two, that that I actually have focused things to do, like that the test has purpose, and that it's not just like, here's an early version of the game, and we're going to wipe it.
It's interesting you say that, because right before we came live, I'm looking at an email I got here right before we came on the air. I got an email from Portalarium saying that Shroud of the Avatar Release 1 is coming out tomorrow. The access for that begins tomorrow. And they're doing what you said, where there's a bullet point list in this email saying, these are the areas we want people to focus on looking at. These are the areas where things we think mostly work. So go through this stuff, see how this gets. This is the access you're getting, and this is we're going to focus on more stuff later, but this is the starting point of stuff to look at. That's I think a good way to do it. And I didn't know this, but apparently they're also going to have Mac and Linux support. They're not going to have it with this first release, but they said with release 2, which is obviously the next one, they're going to have they're going to
Two
start
is
having
more than one.
Mac and Linux releases along with a Windows release. They
That's
said,
really neat.
They said they couldn't get it out the gate with release 1.
Yeah, I mean that's something that's very difficult, and typically most game companies now just completely ignore.
Or they wait till months after shipping on Windows. They'll ship a Mac port and then never ship or even think about a Linux port.
But I mean, now with SteamOS coming out, that may be something that might be changing.
That's a really good point.
On the 13th, the beta Steam machines are all shipping.
And now we're getting beta hardware. Jesus Christ! Oh man!
Which the specs on those are all over the map. I'm really confused.
I'm going to read this first, and then I definitely want to talk about Steam machines when we're done here. Want to remind everyone that this episode of The Patch is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Stop schlepping to the drugstore and paying $20. Schlepping. I said it. Stop schlepping to the drugstore and paying $20 for shave tech you don't need. For a couple bucks a month, DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing quality razors right to your door. Shave time, shave money with Dollar Shave Club. I see what they did there. We love them, and you will too. Go to DollarShaveClub.com/rooster. That's DollarShaveClub.com/rooster. You can see what I look like here with Dollar Shave Club.
Oh.
Without Dollar Shave Club. Totally worth it.
So they send you new blades every week.
Yeah.
Or every pre-decided.
They advise you change your blade every week, and then you subscribe. There's like different levels of razors you can get.
Wait, you mean you're not just supposed to
you don't
cut
use them
your
forever.
face off until it rusts?
And they've got this thing.
That's the problem I always have. Is it I
shut up! I'm pitching stuff. They've got this thing called Shave Butter, which is like their version of shaving cream. It's actually really good. Like I always have a problem with shaving cream because I feel like you have to warm up the can, and it's like a whole process. This stuff you just like squirt on your hand and like rub it on.
Then you have a butter face.
It's actually really smooth. I don't even have a butter face. But it's really really handy, and they send you the handle for free.
Oh, nice.
So check it out, DollarShaveClub.com/rooster. If you're a dude, you've got to shave your face if you want to be presentable.
I try to avoid it, but my wife doesn't let me get away with it for long.
Yeah, I got to keep things under control. So check it out, DollarShaveClub.com/rooster. You can sign up and you can cancel anytime. Oh, they also have another product that they sent that's not part of this called One Wipe Charlies, which are moist toilet wipes.
Oh,
Is
Charlie known for having a particularly difficult to wipe
with a
derriere?
It's got a nice.
So do you like recycle those?
Smell.
Do you like send them back so they can like sharpen them or refurbish them or something like that, or is it just like kind of like a subscription program?
It's like a subscription program as far as I know. I haven't gotten to the point where I've exhausted my first month's supply yet, so I don't know. But I haven't heard anything about
Blade
that.
of the Month Club.
Yeah,
I like the cherry flavored ones.
Cherry flavored ones. So yeah, check it out. So anyway, Steam machines.
The hardware that they've touted to be in these initial 300 run is all over the map. It's everything from an i7 to an i3.
Well, that's the model that they're going for. Is they wanted to stick they wanted you to be able to, if you only have $300, say you want a console equivalent or whatever, so you only got $300, that you can get a Steam machine that will run all the games on okay settings. But then you have people who maybe want to spend $1,500 and get a machine that can run every game on all the maximum settings on obnoxiously high.
Will there be Steam machines with like dual and triple video cards that support an SLI configuration?
Well, I would imagine you're not going to see that until they release a second form factor. The initial form factor, I'm pretty sure won't have space for a second SLI or a second card to SLI.
Yeah.
Especially with power and heat.
Yeah,
being a factor.
They seem pretty small. Do we even know? Like, I guess it's variable. Say how big is power supply?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the wattage on the power supply. It probably is variable based on the hardware in the machine. They do have the form factor size is released, and it's consistent with the Xbox One. I mean, it's not huge. It's pretty decent size though. It's supposed to be all off the shelf hardware though, so you can replace anything you want.
Well, I guess we'll start hearing. I mean, if they start shipping on Friday, we'll definitely within the week we'll be hearing people who are receiving it and tearing those things apart and letting us know what's in there.
I'm pretty sure I also saw that they're going to be releasing, I don't know if they're calling it a beta of SteamOS simultaneously with that hardware shipping.
Well, they have to, right? You have to have.
Obviously the 300
what are you going to do with
the 300 have to have it, but I think they're releasing it wider. Like we could download it
and put it on my computer
and try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should get a box.
I would assume so, because if they don't, then one of the beta testers is going to image his hard drive and fucking upload it for everyone else to get
immediately.
Yeah, they may as well just let it out there for everyone.
Now beta OSs, beta everything.
Well, beta OS has been for a while.
But you don't really pay for beta OS.
No, you never
pay
do.
for beta
Windows
OS.
Vista, Windows
ME,
close enough.
ME, yeah.
So I want to go back a little bit here. So as much shit as we talk about the VGX, which was a steamy pile of shit, there were other trailers that were released that I was pretty excited about. So the first thing was they finally showed some more Quantum Break.
Yep.
Which is the Xbox One game that Remedy's working on.
Is that the one with the space-time slowdown thing?
Yes.
Right.
I thought I remember seeing something about that.
Your
Time is broken.
Yeah, basically your main characters were present at some kind of experiment that broke time. And now time is speeding up and slowing down. And the two characters, I think one being the hero, one being the villain,
here's a trailer
have
for
actual control over some element of that time.
Right, like time's frozen here, and you see when he grabs her.
Like he can pull her out of that time stoppage.
But yeah, and then he tells her in the trailer that she can't let go of him.
She
has to retouch him. This is the same trailer they showed at E3, actually.
This is, yeah.
But they definitely talked about it more. They mentioned how it's a blend of, here's the gameplay, that was new. It's a blend, they talked again about how it's a blend of narrative, video content along with the game. But again, they're not explaining what that means.
Yeah. They kind of said that they were trying to ram together Max Payne and I forgot the other title.
Alan Wake.
Yes,
they said
Alan Wake.
that it all lives in the Remedy multiverse.
That's right.
Which led to that cringe moment where Joel McHale said he lives in the Remedy multiverse.
Good for you, Joel.
Thanks, Joel McHale. We're all really happy for you. But yeah, I guess they try to tie all of their titles in together.
Sure, why not? Isaac Asimov did it.
It doesn't have any effect on me
whatever.
or the games I play. I don't care.
All that makes for is a really weird, awkward cameo when like Alan Wake falls through time and drops into Quantum Break and then falls back out, running from a shadow or something.
Or what if this is all like? What if
When
Quantum
he shows
Break
up and gives you a flashlight?
What if Quantum Break is a novel that Alan Wake is writing? You're laughing.
No, yeah, it could happen. Sure, why not?
It's like a television show that he's
How
producing.
mad would you be?
Like in real life, Alan Wake is an executive producer on a TV show called Quantum Break, and all these people are just actors.
It's like you get to the end, and it's like,
show.
oh, it's just a book. No, and you wake up like,
you are
what
not a real
dream.
character. And then the other thing,
It's like the Fallout website that
oh
wasn't.
yeah, so that was fake. But again, right before we came live, there were some. I think it was Kotaku was reporting that there were some leaked documents indicating that there's casting for Fallout 4, and it's going to be set in Boston.
It's gonna okay, sure.
So that made me wonder:
Lots of baked beans.
are all of the characters in Fallout 4 going to have that annoying accent?
Yeah,
And is there going to be a lot of Italian food?
Well, pizza will survive the apocalypse, I'm sure.
Well, I hope I survive the apocalypse too. Then,
Just for the pizza.
well, if there's pizza,
Post-apocalyptic
I can
pizza?
get by with
He's-
pizza.
Enough pizza.
Hey,
at this
Neon
point.
glow.
I live in the Bethesda universe.
One slice shy of perfection.
Even as a joke, that's cringeworthy.
Yeah, it's awful. So yeah, I don't know too much about it. Like I said, I just saw a little bit of the article right before we came on. So I'm sure we'll find out some more. Hopefully, it's not another hoax like Survivor 2299.
Surely
and that
they're
asshole.
like no one's really surprised that they're making a Fallout 4, right? I mean, that was
No, not at all.
That was an awesome series, and of course, it's going to keep going. Like they made lots of money on that, I would imagine.
I'm not sure what Brandon's showing me here. This might be the leaked document, the casting call. I'm not sure what that is, but
Yeah,
if we can show it,
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it. I can't read it from here,
Look,
but it
it's
looks
paper with words. Look, there's a guy with a gun.
It looks like a character
Guns
What
description.
confirmed for
professional
Fallout
document
4.
though has a giant image?
No, it's highlighted. Look, it's got someone. It's not real highlighting. It's got a watermark for Kotaku. That's
Legit.
probably part of the original document.
Okay, I don't know. Like the header image is huge, isn't that like?
Well,
Wait,
if
are you criticizing it for
well,
poor
if-
design
if
Well,
practices?
no, I'm talking about if it's a leaked document.
if it's a casting call for an actor, it's like yeah,
casting call.
Yeah, you
right.
gotta have pretty
Yeah, yeah,
pictures,
yeah.
you
it's
know?
like this is the kind of
Okay,
character
that does
you're
make
going to be.
sense.
Yeah,
That does make sense. All right, I could see it.
This is future Fred. He has a gun.
I was
You're
thinking it was
him.
like an internal piece of, like I wouldn't put the Rooster Teeth logo that giant and then hand it to you.
Fair enough.
Don't share my secrets. Then the other trailer I was excited about that came out of VGX was the two new Titanfall
The mech
trailers with the
displays?
new mechs. It was the Strider and the Ogre.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know
Yeah.
why I hadn't really thought about that. Like we played Titanfall at PAX Prime. It didn't even occur to me like, oh, what if there were different classes of mechs or different classes of Titans? And then it was like, oh yeah, of course, duh.
Does the class correspond to your? I mean, is there a player class too?
I don't know.
Do those tie together? I don't know. Okay.
Or maybe you can specialize.
I don't
and,
know
like,
that they've even announced that yet. Did you pick a class when you played at PAX?
No,
No.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
God, I don't remember. I don't think so.
So it may not have a class base. Okay.
Or maybe at the build we played just had that one class with that one
mech.
mech.
That's pretty common is that you get a media build.
Or your
you're allowed to
upgrades
play
could
with
dictate
stuff.
your class instead of a more strict class system.
Yeah.
So it seemed like the Strider was like
something like that.
the Strider was like a fast, lightly armored mech, which used speed to its advantage, and the Ogre was just like a brute with tons of armor
and
and
giant
guns.
heavy weapons. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Those are the best.
built to take a beating. Yeah, I've never been good at like the speed and agile class characters. Like, I just can't do that.
No, the ones I always play like the heavy armored, lots of guns and lots of ways to repair myself. So like I'll eventually kill you because you can't kill me. That's the way it's gonna work.
I'm gonna outlast you.
Yeah, it's like that. Like that's always my strategy is just the heaviest armor I can find, and enough healing or enough like repair bots or whatever to keep myself alive. So then you just frustrate yourself and leave me alone.
You run out of bullets trying to kill me.
I am just too tired of hitting you to continue hitting you.
Yeah.
Go about your business. Didn't they also show another Stick of Truth trailer?
Oh yeah, they did.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. So that has a release date now, March 14th, I think.
Well, this is their second or third release date. It's been
Third,
pushed
I
once
think.
at least.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd avoided seeing anything until they announced the last time they pushed it to March. That was the first time I saw a trailer. It actually made me kind of excited for that game. I mean, I'm a fan of South Park, and that looks like a really interesting, fun South Park experience.
I'm not sure if you watched the Console Wars trilogy that they had.
I've seen the first episode, but not this.
Well, the third
last
episode
two.
ends, and they all go outside. They're like, we don't need video games. We can play. We're young kids. We have our imagination. We don't need anything. I mean, we can just play with this stick. And Cartman picks up a stick and holds it up, and then there's like, Stick of Truth, available March 14th.
Well, it's in an episode now. They're locked in.
Yeah, so it was an interesting nod to their own game. It was a great series of episodes.
I'll have to watch them once they go up on streaming. But, I mean, the game looks really
We
fun.
watch them on their website.
It's not available for stream yet. There's a delay.
Really? I watched them like the day after on their
Really?
website, yeah.
I wonder if they have a dead period afterwards. Because I went there. I can see that the subsequent 2 episodes have been aired, but it wouldn't let me watch them. Their website actually now supports iOS 2. Or not 2, but like also.
I'm being told that there's
As
also some on
well.
Hulu. But
Okay.
I did not verify that. I don't really go to their website directly.
Unsubstantiated information. That's what we're all about here.
We don't have our fact checker this week. Sorry. The fact checking chair is empty. I'm going to start being better about that.
Gesturing to an empty chair? All right.
Gesturing to an empty chair. Sorry, empty chair.
Do we have a camera for the empty chair?
It's filled with griff balls.
All right.
So other news, I'm just going down my list here. Halo Spartan Assault is coming out on Xbox One.
Yep.
December 24th, and the Xbox 360 in January.
That was the top-down Halo game, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The kind of like Halo Wars.
It was
But like dual
Windows
stick.
8
Yeah.
tablet kind of
It's
exclusive.
not-
but
here we go.
It doesn't seem like it's so much controlling large groups as it is just like individual Spartans.
Yeah.
So not Halo Wars in that respect.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing to me is that they're releasing it for the one this month and the Xbox 360 next month. You don't think that, like, why do you think there's that
staggered
delay?
release?
Yeah. Do you think they're trying to get people to play it on the Xbox One who have the Xbox One? Like they're trying to push more people in that direction?
if
they're-
anybody has
they're-
both
they're-
consoles, they would probably pick the one.
That has more longevity at this point. But ultimately what that is that's an exclusivity period for their new console
Yeah.
to give you yet another incentive to buy their new console.
Yeah.
And even if it's a short period of time, it adds value to the new console, even if it's very minor.
This title has been leveraged for that already, and I don't know that it moved any Windows 8 display or Windows 8 installations or tablets.
You can say that, but they did use it quite a bit in advertisement, I felt like. Like you saw anytime there was like a Windows Phone or a Surface commercial, there was definitely like the Halo Spartan Assault commercial as well, where it's like you can play this on this device. So I mean, it's definitely, it helps raise awareness if nothing else. It ties in, one of their flagship products with a product that's maybe lagging a little bit to like try to help boost it up.
Well, Xbox One is definitely not lagging at this point.
No.
With 2 million consoles
They've pretty much
sold.
caught up, right?
They're a little behind. So they
but the PS4 is also been out
released
longer.
earlier, yeah.
Well, let me finish my sentence.
All right, I'm sorry.
They announced 2 million consoles in 18 days. PS4 announced 2.1 million in 17 days. So they had an extra 100,000
You're right.
day earlier.
The one question I have about that, the Xbox release was pretty implicit that it was a shipped to consumer, not a sold to retailers. Which there was some number fudging with the PS4.
I don't know that there's much of a difference at this point. It's so early in the console life cycle that you can't find the console on shelves.
Right.
If they shipped it to retail, it got sold to the consumer.
It's immediately
point,
gone.
You see the Xbox One pop up every now and then on Amazon, but it's gone. By the time I
minutes.
see that people are reporting it's on Amazon. By the time I go look, it's gone. So I think there's still enough demand for it where it's not neither console is
there's
sitting
enough
around.
demand that people keep buying it on eBay and keep getting like a picture of the console. Like I keep seeing reports of that on news sites where it's like,
so sad.
I paid $900 for a picture of an Xbox One console, and I'm like, it blows my mind that that's still a thing.
Yeah.
And eBay will immediately refund that money too.
Right? Like they don't get away with it. And
Well, they do, I'm sure. They're banking on the people that don't realize that eBay will refund that.
Who are there people who like that? That blows my mind.
There's got to be
They bought a picture.
There's got to be people who send a money order. Like, what if the
true.
the financial transactions happens outside the eBay ecosystem?
If you do that, you are so dumb.
Yeah, but if you're the seller, you specify that. You're like,
dumb.
you must send a money order. No
Yep.
PayPal. You
do
have
it.
these stipulations.
I feel like that's like the Nigerian prince wanting to send me $4 million,
you know-
right? Like
but you know
everyone
what-
sees that and is immediately like, that's
But
a joke.
you know why
right?
they still do that? Because some people fall for it.
Yep.
Some people fall for it.
Humans
They've
are
gotten away
real
with it.
dumb.
Yeah,
like
it's dumb. No one at this table will fall for it. But there is someone in the world who's like,
yeah.
yes.
I guess. I mean,
The problem is
the
we
news
made a
articles
lot
have
of
to appear
humans.
from people. Like I see,
There are just a lot of humans out there. Not all of them are quite at the same specs.
mean-
It's like the beta release of the Steam
box.
console.
Yeah, it's like,
Some of them are i3s, some of them are i7s.
they don't have multi-threading.
No,
Only-
not
only
quite.
two
cores.
some of them have the fan that doesn't cool quite effectively enough, so they have to clock down. That's why you got this symbol. So other news that came out this week, big news. The NSA has been spying
Yeah.
I
on
saw this.
MMOs.
My favorite
and
part of
Xbox
this story.
Live.
The Daily Show used a backdrop from our WoW Let's Play. That was behind Asif Bombi in the Daily Show was a shot from our Let's Play in
Yeah.
WoW.
That's awesome.
It's right behind him is Ray dancing. If you ever want to go look it up.
I guess WoW has a big enough subscriber base that probably like statistically speaking, some of those people like are terrorists, right?
Well, the thing,
But
Maybe they're
feel
just
like-
casual terrorists.
I feel
I feel like that audience.
Maybe that's
Why?
Why are we trying to stop them? Get them addicted to WoW. Maybe they'll just play that instead.
the only
Something
thing I
to
can
live
think
for.
PvP
is that when you
all day.
when you play WoW, you always joke about people buying accounts in China. Maybe like some government spy misheard and was like, the Chinese are taking over. They're stealing accounts. We got to get in there.
They're selling all this
that's-
gold.
Those
the
gold
only-
farmers
yeah.
messing up our economy.
Only thing I can think, they're making bots. What? So
well,
I can't imagine anyone. Oh, the best reply I saw to this. So when I first read the story on Reddit, I went through the comments, and the top comment was, "LFG to overthrow America." PST. I was like, that guy gets it.
no, it wasn't even that. It was worse than that. The one that I saw,
Oh.
it was like looking or LFG for they'll never see it coming, like plane ride or some shit like that.
I did not see that one.
It was one like I read it and was like, really?
yeah.
Come on.
So I know that
Even 15 years later, still.
I can't imagine using a game like that to be a vehicle to pass communication. Like you hear about the way that they do pass communication,
Yeah.
like creating drafts of emails and not sending them and multiple people accessing that. That makes sense to me. You can use a computer, you can use a mobile phone, like it's accessible. If you're going to use like World of
WoW
Warcraft,
guild chat.
yeah, you got to have like a computer set up that can run the game, which admittedly
Well,
it's older now.
yeah.
But you still have to have like, and then you have to buy time on the game. It's like, why not?
Admittedly, I think it's pretty clever. Like it's not. I wouldn't have thought to look there. I really wouldn't. So I can see how they
And
might
most
have
people
perceived
immediately,
it as a secure
you know,
transit area,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it's worldwide
but yeah, but Blizzard also said they were unaware of the
of NSA.
of the spying.
NSA, man, they are some slippery little guys.
They got that fucking spy satellite with the octopus on it. Did you see that?
That was the best logo ever.
Nothing is out of our reach.
Just it's sucking the good out of the planet.
Yeah.
we hear everything.
Yeah, it's like fuck you guys. We're
Man.
gonna do everything.
We're so respected by the world.
Yeah, awful. But I guess they also were concerned that people were training with weapons in World of Warcraft and on Xbox Live, and I was like, if someone can fucking take down the government with a sword, more power to them.
that'd
That'd be
be
awesome.
Someone has Thunder Fury and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
get with
when
training.
Someone runs into a building and goes fireball.
Oops.
That was the beta test of this attack. I'll be back later.
Just gotta hope they Leroy Jenkins it. But yeah, anyway, it seems ridiculous. I don't know. We actually a local news channel came out and interviewed Caleb and I about it. And we talked about it the other night.
Uh-huh.
It was really, really weird,
Fox
really surreal.
News.
Yeah. So speaking of World of Warcraft, great segue. The Warcraft movie initial cast was announced.
Yep.
Nobody I really recognized.
Nope.
It's people you would have recognized from like a tiny part in that thing you watched a year ago.
Right. Like the most prolific person that I was most easily recognized was the woman from Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Really?
Yeah. She got in that fight that I remember with the other.
But she's still referred to as that woman from that movie.
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a name.
I think one of the guys I recognized, but I couldn't place a movie to it.
Yeah, there was another guy who was in Pacific Rim, and I think he was one of the Australians. Yeah. That's almost like, I know you were in Pacific Rim. Which guy were you?
I had to IMDb all of them.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize a single name.
So the names, if anybody's curious, is Travis Fimmel, Ben Foster, Robert Kaczynski, Toby Kebbell, and Paula Patton.
Great.
So apparently Universal's also in final negotiations with Dominic Cooper, who was in Captain America. So yeah, I don't know.
All right. So there's
see.
some people that might be in a movie that might come out that might be
No, it has a
terrible.
release date, March 11th, 2016.
Sure it does. Yeah.
So all this tells me is they're not spending their money on actors; they're spending their money on computer effects.
Yeah.
Well,
How
will
many-
it matter
how
when
many
you
other-
put enough stuff on their face?
How many other movies have started as video games? I mean, there's Hitman.
Hitman,
Do you want me to look up the UE
Resident
Bowl,
Evil.
fucking IMDb?
There's the whole Resident Evil series, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was a Postal movie.
There was a Postal movie.
the list is still
There's
really
nothing
small.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like that
It's-
transition has happened. There was a Blood Rain movie.
What?
Yeah, I think there was 2 of them. Made by that guy that everybody
I have
hates
no
with the
idea.
weird name. Uwe Boll
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Uwe.
Wow.
Uwe.
Yeah, as I said, just look him up on IMDb and
There
go
you
down
go.
his list of terrible movies.
Yeah. He's pretty much to blame for all of them. Wing Commander. That was another one. Also terrible.
Mario Brothers.
Had Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh, you
and
can't hate on Mario Brothers though.
So
That also might just be childhood.
I think Brandon's trying to show me someone. I don't know who that is. What
Isn't
character
that Dominic Cooper?
he is? That's it. He
Ben
was
Foster. That's Ben Foster.
Ben
Okay.
Foster. Okay. They're
You know that guy. And
Whoa.
that guy. Look, there's another man. So this is a member
Travis
of Al Qaeda, right?
Something. He's probably playing World of Warcraft.
Oh, that was
There's
the
another
guy
guy.
from Vikings.
Right, the guy from
That small TV show. No,
Paula
one
There's a
Patton.
lady.
Wasn't it on
She's the
History
one
Channel?
from Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol. There's another
Toby
guy.
Kimmel,
Looks like a Toby.
Dominic Cooper.
Looks like Ray.
I can't read those names from here. I'm really thank you so much for saying those names in my ear, Brandon, because I cannot read them from this distance. So we'll see. I think they're supposed to start principal photography in January.
I mean, I don't know if it really matters. Excuse me. How much what they look like. About half of them, I'm sure, will be completely covered in some form of face makeup. Or I
Yeah.
wonder if they're going to go
Absolutely.
almost like Avatar style and be
Or just performance
largely,
capture?
Yeah, performance capture.
Here, let me read this thing before we move on. I want to remind everyone that today's episode of The Patch is brought to you by the biggest real-time strategy game on a fully persistent MMO galaxy, Novus Eterno. Build and conquer empires through diplomacy, intelligence, military might, and or economic power. Play against thousands of other players in an endless universe of galaxies where your strategic decisions have real consequences. Coming this spring, you can help back Novus Eterno on Kickstarter or learn more at novuseterno.com. So this is the largest strategy game ever built. We did a This Is on
We
it
did, yeah.
a couple weeks ago. We can have some video of it if we want to show it. But essentially, it's an RTS you can play, and we've talked about this many times on the patch before. You can play on the surface of a planet, like building your economy. Then you like zoom out, you build the ships. Then you have a fleet of ships. You get into space combat, conquer planets in your solar system. Then from there, move out and conquer other solar systems. And just like it's just like space. You just keep zooming out.
More macro. It's got kind of a sort of Sins of the Solar Empire feel, with the the planet and solar system control mixed with the more traditional RTS kind of. Mm-hmm. So it's enjoyable. The much I've got to play of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. They had to relaunch their Kickstarter. Oh, say here you can see how you just zoom out. But they had to relaunch their Kickstarter, I guess, because they got an angel investor come in. And
What
Kickstarter,
does that mean?
They got a lot of money
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
from another source. So Kickstarter doesn't let you adjust the amount of money you're asking for.
Uh-huh.
So they stopped the original Kickstarter since they need to ask for less, and then move to this other one. So if you've backed it previously, you need to go back and take a look at it again.
That's interesting. Why would they? I mean, why not just keep both? I guess so it's more likely that the Kickstarter was successful, right?
And readjust their stretch goals, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because now it's kind of out the window.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a really cool game. Like I said, previously, I saw this game at PAX last year, and I've been really excited about it. And it's been in development for a while. Looking forward to finally getting to play it. All right, so
really
Novus Eterno. A game that is currently available, Peggle 2.
Peggle 2. Everybody's been playing Peggle 2. Our office has been nonstop Peggle 2.
I have been avoiding it so far.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna hold off.
Well, you don't want to get pegged?
Oh, the problem is I don't want to get pegged. I just know that it's gonna be a thing where I start playing it and then I play it for 30 hours.
Yeah. I'm still like really in playing a lot of when I'm playing the console at the moment. I'm still playing a lot of Power Star Golf.
Really?
I don't want to get distracted. I love
you
golf
and your
games.
you and your golf games, man.
Even when we were playing GTA 5 online, I was like, let's go play golf. You know?
This is a mini game sub part of this game. We're still gonna go play golf. All the other mass mayhem heists, all the other cool stuff you can do in the game. Golf.
Oh, all the stuff that they still haven't patched in.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Coming 2014.
So is it me or did they totally fuck up and miss the boat on this?
Yeah, they really
I'm
have.
getting really annoyed.
I'm wondering if they're not trying to hold on to some of it at this point for whatever their subsequent release is.
DLC.
Well, I'm sure it's going to move to another platform, and if some of this isn't going to help try and entice people back.
Yeah, because I played a lot of GTA 5 online when it shipped, and I was really looking forward to, I was getting ready for all of these features, which still haven't come out. Like, I haven't played the game since the stimulus, and now, like, I can't even get excited about this.
Yeah, the heist mode is hopefully going to be something that draws people back in. I'm sure we will go back into it pretty heavily at that point.
I think they have they released some rudimentary tools for, like, race and deathmatch stuff this week.
Just race and deathmatch, and they're not very flexible either. It's pretty much race or deathmatch. There's no creating any kind of new hybrid game mode.
They also announced that they started selling a plush doll version of Chop from the game. And it was actually kind of annoying to me because it just looks like
Looks like a Rottweiler, right?
It's just a cheap money grab. It doesn't look like Chop from the game. It doesn't even look like a
look, it's right there on his collar. It says Chop.
It's like
Chop.
They literally found like a crate of
pre-existing. It's like a Beanie
plush
Baby.
Animals. We're like, oh, it's Chop, right?
That
yeah,
some guy
sell
couldn't
it.
sell, and we're just like, oh, let's go print 100,000 name badges.
Yeah.
Let's Chop.
Go
Total
down
Chop.
to PetSmart, get that little machine. Chop.
Send the
Chop.
insurance.
Yeah.
So I guess they started selling that too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll probably people have already bought it. Like, it's already out there. So if they're not selling any of these further upgrades, people will come back and play the game. There's still a fair number of people playing it now.
Yeah, I just wonder if like it's given a sour taste in people's mouth. Like they're not going to want to buy paid DLC because the stuff that was promised with the original game they already bought wasn't delivered on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this goes back to what we talked about, almost like the beta access.
I guess
where
it
it's like
depends.
It's like they shipped a full retail game with a beta online, a really beta online experience, and now they're going back and trying to get it up to the point they even promised to begin with.
It may kind of depend on what the quality, what the staging of this release is. If they don't have DLC till after they deliver on that kind of promised stuff, then you probably won't have as much backlash
But
on
the
it.
Beach Bum pack already came out.
That was free.
Oh, it was free. Never mind.
So far, they haven't released anything that cost any money. Beach Bum, it was all right. It was a couple cool cars.
I feel like some of the messing up some of that stuff really spoils their ability to charge for DLC.
Well,
Like, I mean, me right now, if they release DLC that had all that stuff, no way. Like, it's not. I'm in the position that I never got a good online experience. My console, for whatever reason, not for weeks, was able to connect online and got any of those problems fixed. And at that point, like by the time it started to get fixed, my attention had already shifted the other direction. Like I had become so fed up that I played through the story campaign and then was like, I'm done. I own the game. It's on my shelf. I might come back if it's free and I never have to pay for anything. But right now, I'm not gonna. I have no faith that they're able to release a product that doesn't have massive problems.
yeah. Well, actually,
Like I feel like the amount of people that had problems with that game is a lot higher.
Oh, it was pretty much
than-
100% the first
right?
couple days.
Not
Like-
me.
Yeah, except for this asshole who
I played
constantly
from day one.
You
I
and
played with
Adam
no problem.
every single day at work were like, we did all this great stuff in GTA 5, and I'm like, yeah, I got to sit at a load screen for 6 hours before getting pissed off and wanting to break my Xbox.
Well, what's interesting on this topic, sorry, not Rockstar related, but with Battlefield 4, EA's actually had to back up and said, we're gonna hold our DLC because you've got so many problems, and they're going to be working on patches and putting that ahead of finishing the DLC they already had in the pipe. So it's interesting to see a lot of these products that may got rushed a little.
I read, I think it was today, that a group of lawyers who are investors in EA are considering filing lawsuit over failure to deliver Battlefield 4.
Yeah, it had more to do with the shareholders, I think.
Right.
It's you're not upholding the company in such a way that stock price is consistent.
Right. Well, it's detrimental to their image and potential sales.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah.
Which EA, you'd think that name has already been dragged through the mud as much as one can possibly do it, but hey, they keep coming back. They'll throw another title out that everybody wants to play.
Yeah, and now it like every further title that continues this trend is just like further reducing any hope that they're not the company that we think they are, kind of thing.
Well, the fact that they've most recently backed off of all the secondhand purchase stipulations,
that's
really helped their image.
They're making changes, but if they making changes and then immediately putting out a game that isn't like they need to bring everything above board. They can't just like fix one area and then keep you can't fix one problem while there's 8 out there.
It seems like 2013 was the year of the oops title. We'll take that back. Hang on.
Yeah.
Well, we need a little bit more work.
We're still working on it. We know you bought it already, but give us a few weeks. We're still going to
I promise. Once you get the patch, it'll be great.
Once you get the patch.
Subtle plug.
Has HDMI out on PS4 been patched out yet? Or HDCP?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
I know 1.152 dropped the other day.
Yeah, that was for system software stability.
Yeah. Okay.
And Xbox just had a patch, but it didn't really address a whole lot that I've seen.
that
It
we're
was
having there,
some people have had this small problem. Some people's dashboard is kind of slow.
Yeah.
It hasn't. The functionality of my Xbox seems the same. I haven't really noticed any speed up in the dashboard control.
So I do love in both consoles now how they have this auto patching where you can just leave it on in like its low power mode and it applies the patch and it's just like great. I don't have
You never have to
sit
worry
and
about
wait
you
for
don't boot up your console and then immediately be told, "Oh, you have a patch." And then you get into the game, "Oh, you have a patch."
Yeah. So it's
Unless
nice.
you're one of the people that turns it all the way off.
Yeah. Well, come on, let's waste electricity.
That 12 volts.
So in speaking of current generation or next gen or whatever.
No, it's current now. It's out.
A word of advice: the Xbox One is not backwards compatible. Don't trust anything you read that comes from 4chan. So there's a
I
very
saw that. That was so funny.
convincing looking graphic passing around telling people how to enable backwards compatibility on the Xbox One.
Enable.
Don't do it. It bricks the.
We shouldn't even be showing that.
It's everywhere. You should show
guess.
it. That way don't
is
do
fake.
that.
This
That's
is
not
very
even
fake.
the only version. There are multiple versions of this.
Yeah, like since it was discovered that you can enable the dev kit mode, malicious people have made documents like this, enabling the dev kit mode and then giving you instructions on how to brick your own console.
This is it's like that textbook prank that any person in computers did back in like Windows 98 and stuff like that, where you open autoexec.bat and put in reboot, and from that point forward, you just can't get into Windows anymore, and it just infinitely loops. Yeah, it's the exact same idea.
Let's be clear: people on the internet hate you.
These are
If you don't know them, they hate you.
The chances are people who follow those instructions also bought a picture of an Xbox One on eBay and then didn't know how to get their money back. They sent a money order.
Now, peripheral that is not fake is that device that they've created that allow you to use any controller with the Xbox One.
What?
Have you seen that? No.
Any controller?
Yeah, it's basically
mouse, keyboard, PS4 controllers,
I didn't see
Xbox
that.
360 controllers. All that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's a dongle that essentially acts as a
Dongle.
go-between. Yeah. Well, it doesn't plug into the system directly, but it basically emulates the output side of the Xbox One controller, and then you can connect various things to the input side. They've tested it with DualShock 2, DualShock 3.
You connect a wireless controller to this device, which then emits a wireless signal emulating the
Pretends
Xbox One
to be a controller.
Wow, that's smart.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how many, if people really into gaming, like the whole contest between controller and mouse and keyboard has always been one of those things that goes back.
We have a picture.
We have
of
a picture?
it,
Yeah, there
if
it
we
is.
want to show it. This is
Now.
This is the dongle which allows you to emulate
Hey.
the Xbox One controller. That's really crazy.
It's
man.
a clever idea.
Yeah.
It's neat. It's gonna get patched out.
You think so?
What if it emulates it perfectly?
All they have to do is encode the Bluetooth signal between the controllers.
Yeah,
but
they add some encryption if there's firmware update on the controllers, which I'm sure the console has to figure it out.
Does it have bidirectional communication to the controller to update firmware on it? If it doesn't, then you're... I don't know why they would. Well, I guess it would potentially allow for abuse like turbo buttons and things like that.
And that's the thing, is that device right there can... right now it's used to change the X on the PlayStation 4 to be, A on the Xbox 360 controller. But there's nothing that stops them from saying, hey, if you're holding down the trigger and hitting the A key, repeat this 10,000 times.
10,000 times a second.
Exactly, right? It's a tool that is going to be, like...
a probably innocent device that will be maliciously applied.
Absolutely.
I saw a PC
without question, it's going to be one of those
on that
things
thing, so you know that you'll be able to get in there and mess with the settings.
I am curious, though, to see what, keyboard, mouse versus controller looks like if that, you start running into people that are using those.
Could you emulate keyboard mouse through that thing?
They can, apparently. That's one of the advertised features. The thing is, I'm curious how it will work in terms of the auto aim functionality, which is still going to be on the input side of that. So most games probably can turn it off, but it would be very awkward with a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, the jumpiness is jarring.
It'd be interesting. So also, again, another bit of news. Destiny announced release date on my wedding anniversary.
Hey,
thanks, Bungie. September 9th.
Wow,
the anniversary of the day I got married. I've got Destiny. So Esther, if you're watching, I know a great anniversary present you can get me. Oh wait, I already pre-ordered it. Never mind, you're screwed. So yeah, September 9th, 2014.
So what
Destiny
you do?
shipping.
You take Esther on a nice anniversary vacation the weekend before. This is just how the travel plans worked out. We got to go now. We'll have dinner together at home the night of the anniversary for real, but this is the real anniversary.
Yeah. We'll have dinner at home the night before our anniversary.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that game. I've been looking forward to it for so long.
The other one that recently got some new press, is actually at VGX, or that award show, was The Division. They showed off
engine trailer.
Yeah, the engine trailer. That engine looks crazy. Just all the stuff where like they're shooting out little pieces of glass on the truck. Like for the most part,
destructible environment.
Yeah, the destructible environment stuff where
dynamic lighting.
Yeah, here you go, and just showing the scaling and all that kind of stuff, and hearing a little bit. I mean, the volumetric lighting is beautiful in and of itself.
Particle effects. I mean, honestly, as someone with a background in computer animation, the stuff that you can do in real time now is kind of humbling.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And for me, always, I see things like this, and I always worry that they're on some crazy dev kit that like doesn't that my console won't be able to do stuff like this.
Right. I still think we'll see some of that.
And I'm sure, especially on the Xbox One, and probably super high end PCs can probably do this kind of stuff. But I'm always like, every time I see that, I'm like, yeah, but how much do they, are they using like super high texture packs that
also
any normal video card can't use?
Also,
kind of thing?
In the heat of the moment when you're in a firefight, are you going to stop and appreciate that?
That's the other thing.
Like, ooh, the snowdrift dead.
in games like Call of Duty, especially the games that are focused around deathmatch, I don't really care about the environment. I feel like The Division is one of those games that is designed to be. There is that PvP, that aspect of that game, but I feel like it's okay because the environment is very important as well, in that you are in a post-apocalyptic world.
It really sells that world.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like that game has enough of that where it'd be okay.
So I don't know how our hourglass ended early. We still have 2 minutes. So I don't know why that
2
thing's
minutes.
empty.
What's left?
So I'm going to start kind of going through these in a speed fashion since we only have 2 minutes left. Real fast. DayZ.
Lightning round.
Oh, I don't want to talk about
stresses
DayZ.
the standalone alpha is a platform.
This is one of the things early we talked about beta. I didn't want to talk about because
it'll be great.
So this game has been delayed for like 18 months now.
We thought it was going to be shipped by the end of last year. Now we're being told it's an alpha.
He's got time.
Well, no. He's always been on the it's the alpha game. But what we're told is the alpha of the game is now 18 months later than he initially anticipated, or something like that. 18 is probably an exaggeration. It's probably more like a year later. I feel like at this point, and I've done a lot of the stuff. I've watched a lot of the videos. I'm very still hyped for DayZ. But I'm starting to lose my love for that IP. In that it's just like at this point, they're missing the bus.
It still doesn't have solid competition for that particular niche.
No one was able to step up,
and
right?
I get
and that's
that,
why they can wait.
But I've been watching some of the stuff with the new engine, and I don't feel that their new standalone title is
going to be worth
even that. Like
it doesn't feel the same.
No, I mean it feels the same, but
we got to move on.
Lightning.
Sorry,
we're running out of time. Wolf Among Us. Came out on iOS. I finally played it on PC. Great game. It made me worried. This makes me feel better about Telltale doing
the Game of Thrones license,
Game of Thrones, and a Borderlands
crossover.
The fact that they were able to do another game in that style makes me feel that they know what they're doing. So Walking Dead Season 2 comes out this month, I think 17th and 18th. Then Game of Thrones sometime next year, along with Borderlands sometime next year.
And the Game of Thrones is actually a multi-game, multi-year license, so it's probably going to be similar to how they're doing the episode stuff for the Left 4 Dead, where we'll get book one. I have one. How do you guys feel about a game that follows such structured content? Like that narrative is such a powerful narrative. I don't feel like they can't really deviate from it, right?
Question last time.
In the trailer, it said new characters.
Right.
See,
I think we're gonna get
that
a side
scares me.
story
I don't
in the
really
world.
like that.
We'll see.
I mean, they either have to depart completely and just set it in that world.
Well, we don't know how heavily involved George
right.
R. Martin is necessarily.
Yeah, we'll see.
He may be developing original content. Like he may not be writing the whole thing. God, I hope he's not writing the whole thing. So it'll take 5 fucking years for it to come out. But
for the beta.
Telltale has been a really awesome evolution of the choose your own adventure game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm really liking the stuff they do.
Penny Arcade Report shut down after 2 years. That's
Also Penny Arcade TV.
Penny Arcade TV. I mean, it's sad. It was really, really solid reporting that they were doing over there, Penny Arcade Report, but it's going to be gone at the end of the year.
Sounds like Tycho really wants to advance to some really cool new stuff, though. He doesn't
Scrolls
say
Online?
what, but
Elder Scrolls Online
Announced
launched
April 4th.
for PC and Mac, June for consoles.
Oh, I didn't see that they actually had a console
They're not a
window.
date. They just said June.
Yeah. Window's good, though.
Apparently, Notch was offered a job at Valve at one point when he first made Minecraft, decided not to take it to make Mojang instead.
did he make a mistake?
He said an interesting thing where instead of working at a company like Valve, he wanted to make another Valve.
Yeah.
Which is that's a really smart way to look at it. PS4 share button has been clicked 10.9 million times.
I wonder how many of those are by accident. I've done it at least twice myself.
I don't know if
That's
those
not
count.
the button.
But that's really impressive. I mean, it just shows that people really want to stream, and there's.
Meanwhile, the Xbox has recorded 10,000 game clips you didn't want.
I used it.
Ridiculous.
I used it the other day. I had a weird glitch in Power Star Golf. I forgot about it until right now. So I'm going to go look at that video right now. I should have brought it in here.
No, we got plenty of time. Don't worry about it.
WildStar finished all their class announcements. Today is the final class announcement. It's probably already out.
Well, we'll have to go look at it. Let's go look.
Yeah.
So we're at time. It's time to wrap this up.
No, look, we
ran
got lots of time.
2 minutes late.
This thing
Apologies.
Look at all that.
So I want to thank everyone for watching.
All right.
We'll be back on Monday with another episode of RT Podcast. I'm going to go shave, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Shave the other half.
Hey, show me